Hey everybody, it's Doug from Rock Creek Runner, and you're watching another edition of Trail Talk Quick Tips. Today we're going to be talking about accountability. Alright, so I touched on accountability a little bit in the last video, but after speaking to a few people, I really wanted to dive in and get a little bit deeper into how accountability can really make or break your training and what types of accountability really work. So in my opinion, in my experience, there's three types of accountability. There's holding yourself accountable, so self-accountability. There's having someone else hold you accountable. And then there are outside forces such as financial accountability, which is my favorite, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So self-accountability, that's when you really set yourself up to hold yourself accountable on a regular basis. My favorite way to do that is through a training log. A training log that you're writing down all of your runs and all your workouts every single day into one central place so that you can go back to that place day after day and look and see what you've done and get excited about what you've done and also see what you haven't. So if you've taken a few days off, then when you go back in there and you see that big gap in space between Monday's workout and Thursday's workout, then you know that you're falling a little short and you're going to want to build yourself back up and want to really make up for that lost time. So that's self-accountability, and again, a training log is probably the best way to do that. The second form of accountability we want to talk about today is having someone else help hold you accountable. That could be a husband, a wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, a best friend, a brother, a sister, anyone who is invested in your training, invested in your outcome, and wants to make sure that you succeed in what you're doing. The best way to get them involved is to really explain to them why it is you want to do that goal. Is it to achieve something great? Is it to lose weight? Is it to really push yourself in a way you've never pushed yourself before? Make sure they understand exactly what it is that you're going after so that they can really get behind that goal as well. And then tell them how they should be holding you accountable. Tell them that you want to be running 3 days a week and have a long run every weekend so that they know not to bother you during those times. They know not to encourage you to do something else, so that you really need to be focusing on that. And when you fall short, they're there to encourage you and help get you back up and get you back out the door on your next run. So another good way to have other people hold you accountable is through running groups, training partners, things like that. So signing up for a training group that's all training for the same marathon or the same event, or having a weekly run through your running store. Those people can really help keep you motivated, keep you going, and check in with you on a weekly basis. And then obviously a coach is another great way to do that as well. A coach who is invested their time and energy into your training and your training plan, and then they will be there once a week or however much you set up with that coach, really kind of pushing you along. The third type of accountability that I want to talk about today is using an outside force. My favorite is financial accountability. And that is go ahead and investing the money up front so that when if you don't do it, then you're going to lose all this money. So what I like to do is I register for races well in advance. That race might not ever sell out, and so I could probably register the week before. But if I sign up 3, 6, 9 months out, then I have already put in some money up front and linked myself to that particular race. If it's not a local race and you can sign up for a hotel room or buy a plane ticket or do something like that, then that's even stronger because you're investing more money up front. That is a motivator, because the last thing you want to do when you're in a slump and you feel like taking a few weeks off and not training, and you think back on that $300 you've already invested in the race and the hotel, then you're like, oh man, now I got to do it because I don't want to waste that money. A great way to combine having someone else hold you accountable and the financial accountability is to actually pay them if you don't do something. So say every time you skip a long run, you've arranged to pay your best friend $30. You shouldn't be an amount that's going to break the bank if you do it, but it should be an amount that if you skip it 2 or 3 times, then you're really starting to sweat it. So you would arrange that with them to where you're going to give them money if you don't hold up your end of the bargain to go for these training runs, to go for whatever it is that you have set up in advance. And then maybe at the end, if they take that money and they donate it to some charity, or even worse is they'll donate to a political party that stands for everything that you don't. So the last thing you want to do is be giving your money away to some political party or activist group that you don't align yourself with. Or, if you succeed, if you run the marathon and you do great, then they throw you a party or take you out to a nice dinner with that money, or you can invest it into your next race. So that's a good way to combine 2 and 3, the having other people hold you accountable and the financial accountability. So those are the 3 types of accountability that I like to use in my training to make sure that I'm staying on top, staying motivated, and really getting the work done that needs to be done in order to succeed and to fulfill whatever race goal that I have coming up. Thanks so much for watching this week's edition of Trail Talk Quick Tips. Don't forget to subscribe below, and if you haven't already, check out the blog, rockcreekrunner.com. It's a great resource for anyone training for a trail race, a road race, or an ultramarathon. All right, thanks and see you next time.